Welcome to episode 23 of the XM Toolcast. In this episode, Jonas and I speak to Clement Olivier, who is a repeat guest, about his new tool, the Quick Edit Form. Clement walks us through why he made it and how it works. And yes, I may be stretching it a bit calling it a tool since it's a PCF control designed to be installed in your CDS environment. But that doesn't make it, and especially Clement, any less awesome. So, let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the XM Toolcast. Today we have a repeat guest, but first, I guess I should introduce our host. I am myself, Daryl, always racing the bar. And with me, as always, is Jonas, whose kid always is playing games and calling it quote-unquote work rap. So, Jonas, how are we doing today?
Hi, work, quote-unquote. No, it's good, actually. It's good. Yeah. I've been working at home for 2 months, and I actually love it. I think we should sell our office and continue like this.
Yes, I should. Maybe I should sell my office, but that's my laundry room, so that's a little more harder to do.
You will have a lot of dirty clothes if you do that.
Yes, yeah. Or maybe I'll just always buy new clothes, and then I won't have to worry about that.
So that's the company is doing well, I hear.
Yeah, I guess so. So that it's like in college. My roommate, it was a week before Thanksgiving break in the U.S., and he was out of underwear. So rather than washing his underwear, he just bought more underwear.
Why not?
Which is, it's a great solution to that. So, So as always, it feels like we're in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic funskis. So we're all hunkered down, and in the meantime, I was checking out LinkedIn, and I saw a new tool, or one of our previous guests. So I'm going to do my best to dig into my deep French roots and give a proper pronunciation here. So we'll see how bad I butcher this. But our guest today is Clement Olivier. Perfect. That's what I got. Is that close? I don't know.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Perfect.
I've just been happy because I've been watching Picard and CBS, and he's from Le Bar, France. I'm like, heck yeah. So anyway, this chateau in Le Bar. So Clement, you've got a new tool that you've put out. It's a PCF control, so maybe we're kind of cheating it by calling it a tool, but it's a tool for people to download and use to integrate into their CDS environments, their model-driven apps. And the tool is the Quick Edit Form. So why don't you give us a rundown on what this tool is, why people would want to use it?
Yeah, first, thanks for the invitation. It's always a pleasure to discuss with you around tools and other topics, of course. Yes, so this PCF control, basically I was speaking with some colleagues of mine a few weeks ago now, and one of them told me that it was a shame that the quick view form we know, and which is available since years now in our dynamic CRM environment. It's a shame that we can't edit the data inside the quick view form, and we had to go to the record, edit the record, and go back to the parent record.
Okay, so basically, if we look at a contact, there could be a quick view form of the parent account, and you would want to edit information for that account directly from the contact form. Is that how what he wanted to do?
Yeah, exactly. He wanted to be able to edit some account data from the contact form. Yes, indeed.
Okay.
So the idea came from this statement. Then Tanguy came to me and said, it would be really nice to develop this kind of PCF control. It could unlock some limitation we have today on the model-driven app with, let's say, out-of-the-box functionalities. So, I was like, two colleagues, there is something to do definitely. So I'll dig into that. First, the interesting point, let's say the personal good point for me was to discover new technologies. I developed really easy PCF control in the past, and I wanted to learn more and try to do it the good way. And also using the Office Fabric UI for the rendering was a challenge for me since I never used it. So I wanted to give me some challenge in the meantime during the development, in fact. So I started
let me stop you right there for a second here.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
When I see all these new Canvas apps come out from people that are just learning Canvas apps, and they always make games when they're trying to figure something out. But you try to figure something out and you actually made something useful. So I'm trying to figure out if that is something that's just particular to you, or if that's something that in more general you'll have more pro devs that will try to apply what they have to their work situation rather than making games with it. Do you think that's a difference in the way people's brains work there, Jonas, or do you think that the only way that we have time to try new things is to apply it to work?
So we managed 5 minutes before going into the pro dev, citizen dev discussion. That's impressive.
Well,
I would say
we don't talk about licensing on this channel, so we got to talk about that.
I can definitely say, from my perspective, I really cannot learn something and just dive into it without a proper use case. So just saying, hey, what should I do? Let's build Tetris. I don't have a use case for that. There is a Tetris. So I would always need some sort of reason to do it because I want to use it, or someone else who I want to please want to use it. And I guess that's the situation here with Clement as well.
Okay, so come on, this is born out of the, hey, I want to learn this new stuff. I want to spend some more time learning PCF, learning that framework, and learning Office Fabric. And so this is the result of combining this with something that needed to be done for a work-related project then.
Yeah, in fact, yeah. The idea to jump on the previous question as well is making games is a nice way to show the capabilities of the system or new technology. But yeah, let's say that usually I prefer to have a good use case, as Jonas said, which can be useful for other people. The idea when I spend the time to discover new stuff is to either learn by myself something and maybe share it with someone who could use it. I start from the statement that if at least one person can use my work, it's let's say a win situation for me.
Yeah.
So do you know if anyone is actually using it in production or going to production?
Well, I was nicely surprised with the, let's say, warm welcome when I published it last week. There were really nice, a lot of people who gave me nice feedbacks. And it seems, I can't tell if it's already in production on some environments, but it's definitely used somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you also get a lot of, usually when you get to feedback like that, it comes with and by the way, can we have this and this and that as well?
A little bit, but not too much so far. I was asked to add some type of field I missed. It's my bad. Besides that, it was more, can you add my language translation?
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed to see it's actually available in Swedish already. I can't do anything here.
Yeah, but as I said, I use the automatic translation service, so maybe the translation is not perfect, so you can correct it.
There's a lot of work for me then.
Yeah, I've seen to find that Jonas is really good at seeing a new tool, looking at it, spending 2 minutes with it, and then putting 3 or 4 little requests of, hey, this is broken, or hey, you need to fix this. Because that's what he does to all of my tools, at least.
The ones so far I'm even interested in looking at.
So to back up a little bit, did we fully explain what the tool does, or what the quick edit form does? Did we explain how it works even?
Yeah. Okay, so the idea is to have this PCF control, which is based on an actual quick view form. So when you to render the PCF control, you have to use three parameters. In fact, so the grid of a quick view form, the one you want to render at least, with all the fields in it, and the name of the lookup field you want to use to retrieve the data from. And another one, which is more, let's say, developer one, to be able to jump from a record to another just by putting a grid in a certain field. So, so the idea, yes, is the PCF grab the grid of the quick view form and just retrieve the definition of this form, and based on the different fields and sections which are contained in the form, I render the fields. At least, I grab the different fields. Then I'm grabbing the different metadata around these fields, just to know if it's a text field, lookup field, dates field, or whatever kind of fields we can use in the CRM.
So the PCF code actually sort of parses the form XML for the quick view form.
Exactly.
And turns it into a quick edit instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. You're dependent on the sort of syntax of the form XML to be able to sort of interpret how it should be laid out. And I guess also it's sort of vulnerable for changes to form XML from the platform side.
Can you say it again? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
So this is what Jonas always does. He sees something wrong with everything, and then he points it out. So what he's saying is that because the tool uses the quick view form, that if there's a change to the quick view form metadata XML, if that changes somehow how Microsoft defines it, that will most likely break your tool if they change something that you're depending on.
Yeah, that's a risk, yes. Today it is, yes.
The form XML syntax, I don't think it's sort of documented and saying, okay, this you can trust. Yeah. But you have, I guess, investigated how the form XML looks and sort of find out how to render your quick edit form.
Yeah, in fact, when I get the content of the form XML, the form XML, I, let's say, just retrieve the header title of the sections, and just for each control, I just retrieve the technical name. That's it. I don't need, let's say, I don't need the rest. And based on the technical name, then, as I said, I retrieve the metadata of these fields, and of course, when I grab all the metadata of the fields, I will use that to render the control, the type of control. And in the meantime, of course, I retrieve the data from the lookup field, which is linked to the PCF to grab the actual data to put in the fields.
Okay. Awesome.
That makes a lot of sense, because that way you don't have to do any extra configuration. I've defined my quick view form.
Yeah.
Now I want to be able to edit my quick view form. So you drop it on there. You have to go put the GUID of the quick view form as an input parameter to this control, as well as the lookup field that link, that relationship is defined with. And then there was a third parameter you said that was like a developer parameter. I didn't catch what that one was.
Yeah, the developer one is, let's say, not really developer. It's just that today, with the two first parameters, you rely on the lookup value. And I don't know, for some quick tests, for example, I just added an extra parameters to allow you to not rely on the lookup field, but just a text field where you could put, for example, if you are mapped to an account entity, just put some grids of accounts, and it will render automatically the content of these accounts records in the PCF, even if you are on a record with a lookup field already pre-filled.
So that means that you could actually have a quick edit form of a record that's not even related to the parent for you're standing on.
Yes.
So there doesn't have to be a relationship, a lookup field to look at.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's the idea.
pretty
Yes.
useful as well. I just have to get back to this using the form XML. I have to say I really like that approach because I mean, okay, even if it's not documented, blah blah, but I really like it. I mean, there is a form editor, and there is one common way of storing form definitions. So there's really no reason to invent it yourself. So,
Exactly.
like they are responsible for the form design, fine, and let's trust them, meaning Microsoft, to do all that work, and then you just consume that. I really love the approach there.
Yeah.
Well, the idea is always to not reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
So also to provide controls or tools which are easy to use for everyone. Let's say that if you need 10 years of development to use a tool, for some cases it makes sense, but not for this kind of contribution, let's say.
So I'm curious about another thing. Since we can now edit the parent record fields, how do you save that? Does it save when you save the child record you're standing on, or is it a custom save or something on the quick view edit form, or how does that work?
So far, there are two buttons along with the form. One to refresh the data from the PCF control. For example, if you edited your record on another tab of your browser, you can refresh the data, and there is a save button just to save the content of your quick edit form. So far, yes, I agree. For some people, it can be confusing to have a save button just for this, let's say, small part of the form, and the global one, which saves the actual record you're on. So I need to think of what we could do to improve that.
I mean, I'm thinking already. Maybe is it possible to sort of in the on save event that's called on the form, on the main form there, to catch that and pass on the save action to the quick edit form as well. Maybe that could be something.
Yeah, you can create an issue on my GitHub.
I will do.
He's good at that.
I already had this in mind, maybe for next version. But yeah.
Okay, awesome. I saw a comment on your blog post about this as well, with someone who wanted to have this as a pop-up form, pop-up dialogue instead.
Yeah, the idea is nice, but when I think of that later on, I thought it was maybe I would say duplicate of what we can do today to open a model form.
Yeah, exactly. That was my thought. Now that I mentioned it, because I think Andrew Butenko showed that as a sort of example of how to use the new form events available for lookup fields and this dialogue that you can call as well.
So yeah, the idea would be just to create a small form with only the fields you want, and open this with the, let's say, standard functionality provided by Microsoft. So yeah, the idea was cool, but not for this controller.
Yeah. So are there any things that this control doesn't do?
It doesn't do so far. It doesn't do. It doesn't support the file on the image type fields.
Okay.
Does
it do multi-option select?
Yeah, it does support that. If I'm not mistaken, I'm missing the file, the image, and the customer file fields as well. Basically, the polymorphic lookup fields are not properly managed so far, but I'm already working on that. And regarding the type of field, I think I tried to manage most of them. So
awesome.
Well done. And how long? I mean, this is a new technology you're working on. So how long did it take you to actually develop this while you're learning that new technology?
I didn't really count it. I guess if you start to count the time you spend in the evening, you will start to stop to discover new technologies.
You shouldn't count those hours.
No, but I guess few hours sometimes in the evening. I guess I spent maybe 2 or 3 weeks because yes, as you said, it was new technologies. I never used React components before, so I had to understand the logic before using it. I also had to think how I would create and process the data from XML, the metadata, the actual data of the record and extra. So yeah, I would say maybe 3 weeks dispatched during a month, and maybe more than a month. Sorry.
Yeah. So 3 weeks, and you get to publish this great PCF control, and you learned so much. I think that sounds like well invested time.
Yeah, in fact, I would say that we should never be afraid of what we want to try.
No.
I mean, it's new technologies, yes, but we worked on other different technologies before. We learned new stuff, so let's say the process to learn new things is more or less the same. The idea is just to catch the concept, to use this technology, and then just work as you work usually, basically.
Mm.
So yeah, and also the nice thing is to see the rendering. The final rendering is really cool, and yeah, it's always nice to see that what you spend time on as a good looking, let's say this way, and also it is working, of course, because if the rendering only works, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, here, yeah, it was a great challenge for me, so I'm quite happy of the results. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, last night I was working on finishing up a change for the early bound generator, and I kind of overdid some of the work on it, but I got it to work. And once something that you've had that was challenging is accomplished and it's working, like you kind of have this moment of sitting back and being like, oh, that feels so good to be able to say that this is working and it's doing exactly what I want it to do, or most of what I want to do. That's a special feeling to get.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that you're working on this polymorphic lookups. Is there anything else that you're seeing for this control that you would want to add in the near or far future?
Today, let's say no. I just finished it last week, so if I had a lot of ideas, I would add them directly for the first version.
Yeah.
No. In fact, the idea was, as I said, I was quite happy with the first version, and the idea was to publish it and maybe grab feedbacks from other people who have a new look on the tool. Maybe some way I handle some actions is not, let's say, user friendly, and people could give me some feedbacks on that to improve. So the idea, was to provide the first version and see the reaction of the community, which is really great. So it's pushing me to try to find new features and improve the current one. And let's see in a few weeks or in a few months what I can do.
Yeah.
You know, the D365 community is having a PCF developer day.
I know.
On June 6th. Have you thought of maybe taking your tool and submitting a session of lessons learned for a newbie when it comes to creating a PCF tool and using the Office Fabric?
The thing is, I'm not good to as a speaker, let's say this way.
You have a Moses complex. You need an Aaron. You need someone to sorry, that's a biblical reference. May not get that one. You need somebody to be the front man for you, is what you're saying.
Yeah, and the other I won't say breaking point, but it's always in English, and I'm not really, I can speak, but it's not the natural. Let's say it's natural, yes. So
a couple of years ago, I had the same message from Tanguy when I asked him if he would go speak somewhere. So then I arranged that we did a session together at Extreme in Lisbon, and since then I think he's continued to speak in English conferences as well. So there's a way forward for anyone.
Of course, I guess it's always easier when you have someone with you, even if it's around the language, just be with you to support you during the session, for example, if we stick to that.
Absolutely.
And as soon as you've done your first one, it was a success. I guess you want to have another session later on, and keep going. So
it's like a drug. Put me on stage. No.
And I would even say that having someone that's a completely different personality, at least, especially even from our developer type of persona that we tend to be pegged as, like when we had Sarah on here and on the XRM Toolcast, it was so much fun because she is just so much more bubbly and different than Jonas and I are, and it was just a lot more.
You're saying
a lot more
bubbly?
entertaining. You are very bubbly for who you are, but you're not Sarah, and you can't. Yeah, so it was just.
No one is.
No one is. Yeah, no one's me either, but that's okay. But yeah, so even something when you're presenting like that would be something to even think about, having someone that's not even technical, that actually is talking through things like, oh, this is why you do this, and this is what you did this for, and this is how you do this.
On stage. The
a nice
one
rubber
you're
duck.
Talking to.
Yep. Preferably that knows English better than you do, I guess.
Yeah. True.
So where do people go to get this tool, Clement? Where do they get it?
Basically, they can go to the PCF.gallery website. This is the control is referenced in it, and of course on my GitHub repo, the PCF controls repository contains basically the releases of the controls. I usually provide one solution with all my controls, so you download one and you have 6 controls. That's a win-win.
Cool. So people can download it from the PCF control gallery, or they can go in and, like Jonas is going to do, and submit stuff about how it doesn't work, even though they didn't put any effort into making it. But no, actually, that's having submissions is actually a really good thing. I don't want to down that. If you found an issue or you found something you want to improve, please submit those things to all those open source things. So that's how we get feedback, and that's how we know how things are going or not going, or if we need to change things.
I don't know how many times I've heard people come and say, nah, this doesn't work, and then just close it and start being grumpy about it. And I said, okay, so did you submit an issue? No, I don't have time. I don't want to do it. Okay. Well, it serves you right that it doesn't work for you then.
Gonna smite them, aren't you?
Yep. Whatever that means.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just have a final question. You said you wanted the version 1 out first, and I totally support that as well, because I have done stuff where I've been working on something for way too long, and then publishing it, and I get 2.5 from anyone, and the rest don't care at all. So it proves that, okay, what I did was not interesting to anyone but myself. So stopping at one point and having a version 1 to sort of see the feedback is absolutely a good thing. But aside from the quick edit form, is there anything else that we could be interested in that you are silently working on?
Today I'm in a pause to work on new project, personal project, I would say. But one other control which could interest some people, since Microsoft didn't really release fully released the file type handling on model-driven app, is a PCF control which allow you to just browse your laptop and select a file, and this is uploaded directly in the record, in the file type on your record. So
that sounds nice, because they released it to be used from the SDK, right? But there's no UI support yet. Okay. Yeah, that's an obvious one, I guess.
Well, from the UI, it's available, but you can't change the values. So
Okay.
you can see the browse button, which is disabled, but you can't go any further. So
Okay.
step by step, they publish the first version. They wait for feedbacks.
Very good. Okay.
Clement, I this is one of your first times diving into this, but I'm noticing that you all have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other tools on the PCF gallery, or PCF controls on the PCF gallery. So, so primarily this was the new Office ribbon stuff that you're working on, the React framework. Is that where this is new for you in that aspect?
Yeah. The React framework was totally new because the 4 others controls, I was just using some. What's the proper name? I was initiating the different fields directly in the PCF with some
CSS, HTML stuff?
Yeah,
directly?
exactly. Sorry.
Okay.
Exactly, that's it. So I was not reusing existing components to give it some parameters and actually interact with the component itself. It was but now that I released the quick edit form, I think I would go every time with the UI fabric, which is really helping you in the rendering step. Basically, cool. You have the component already working. You just need to prepare the process to use it in the background. So regarding the UI, it's really time saving, and it was a great awesome. Great discovery.
Cool. All right. So, Clement, how can people reach out to you specifically? Find you on Twitter, find you on LinkedIn, find you on Facebook, find you on Tinder? What do you got?
Twitter, yes. Okay. My name is Clement Olivier, but the O of Olivier is a 0. On LinkedIn, I think it's Clem Olivier. And my website, which is stuffandtacos.azurewebsites.net.
Yep. And I have to say that when you pronounce your own name, it sounds way cooler when I pronounce it. So I wish my own name was as cool if I pronounced it in some other language. But yeah, it doesn't sound as, I don't know, interesting.
Don't worry. When I pronounce Daryl Labar, it's really, really cool in my mouth as well. So
now you're just patronizing me, but that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, so I was looking before the session here. I was looking for this blog to find, okay, what did Clement write here? So I said, what was it? It's Stuff and Tacos something, and I tried Blogspot, but then realized, okay, Googling Stuff and Tacos and Clement, that's enough. That takes you to your website. So remember the Stuff and Tacos, and then you're good.
Now, is that stuff inside of tacos, or is that stuffing taco, like short for stuffing? What was the intended?
Tacos.
Stuff on the tacos?
Yes. And tacos.
And tacos.
Stuff
yes.
and tacos.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, all right, just trying to make sure I'm understanding through all of that. So, Clement, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your tool and overcoming probably a fear of spending 30 minutes speaking in English and doing a very good job of it. So if we spent 30 minutes speaking in French, that would not go too well.
Who would want to listen to that episode?
Ouch.
Mon Dieu.
No, thanks to you both for the invitation. As I said in the beginning, and it's very nice to have a discussion around the tools and what we can provide to the community. So thanks for that.
We think so too, actually.
I hope.
Yep. And Jonas, how can people get a hold of us?
Well, they can't. It seems they can. Well, of course they can. Everyone can. It's on Twitter at XMToolcast or by email XMToolcast at no. Let me redo that. cast@xmtoolbox.com, of course. And then there's actually also a sort of company page. I don't know what it's called. This is no company, but something on LinkedIn. Google or search for XMToolcast on LinkedIn. Follow there. We'll post updates there as well.
Yep. And again, thank you, Clement, for joining us. I'm sorry that we didn't get to room together in real life at the MVP Summit this year. So I would have picked up quite a bit more French just sleeping in the same room with you, I'm sure.
Deal.
All right. Everyone stay safe and have a good time hunkering down during this COVID process.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This has been the X-Room Toolcast with Jonas Rapp and Daryl Labar. If you have any questions for Jonas or I, or suggestions for future episodes, please send them to cast@xroomtoolbox.com or tweet to XRoomToolcast.